So reaching this far, I would like to introduce our first speaker. And our first speaker is Desiree Namachotsa. Desiree Namachotsa, she is one of an innovative educator. She is a creative artist, and also she's a fashion designer. She's a teacher by profession, and she holds a bachelor's degree in education. Currently, Desire is pursuing master's degree in education in psychology at University of Malawi. So, as I already said, that Desire, she is an innovative educator, creative artist, and an actress. She is an environmental advocate whose work blends with education and sustainability as well as arts. Desire, she is an active actress. Maybe some of you have watched her in some of famous Malawian movies. For instance, she acted in some of the movies like Fatani, School Days, and Welcome to Maula Prison. At this juncture, let me give the floor to Desire. Desire, it's your turn.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Memory. So, as already introduced, my name is Desiree Namachotsa, but a lot of people call me Desire, and that has been fine for the longest time. So I'm going to take you through personal branding and also just a bit on how we can be able to manage our own personal brands. So I'm using a phone, so I hope you will forgive me with how I'm going to be sharing my slides. Can you see my slides? Memory, can you see my slides? I'm going to take us through branding. So brand you, it's where I would say you have to brand yourself, position yourself, be in a space where it's visible that you're someone who stands for something so that people can be able to reach out to you if they need your expertise. So most of us, we just go with the flow. We go with the flow with whatever comes in mind. We post whatever comes, we talk about whatever comes, and not necessarily something that is our niche, something that we are passionate about, something that it is our goal. So I hope this presentation can actually just help us to go back in our drawing board and ask ourselves, who are we, what do we stand for, and how can we have a personal brand that is manageable, a personal brand that can actually attract value. So we're in a world where everyone has a voice. The loudest isn't always the one that is heard. It's the most consistent and authentic. A lot of influencers are there. We have a lot of people that have got good access to the internet. They are loud. They post every day. They're very consistent. That's why their voice is more heard than the voice of maybe people who actually do have value, do have something to bring to the table. But this is mostly because the people that have value do not say anything or they are not consistent. So personal branding means intentional effort to shape how people perceive you. Keyword being intentional. It's like you're actually planning, your vision boarding, you're drafting how people can actually see you. And this is very important because this world right now that we're living in is a connected world. So people will get to decide who you are before they meet you, based on what they see and based on what they hear. So an example would be if you're just your presence on Facebook. Whoever you are, people will just assume this is who you are based on what you post, based on how you look, and they'll think that is the kind of a person that you are. So a personal brand, it's like the things that are said about you when you're not in the room to defend what's being said. There are so many rooms that we are going to get into as young people, as people in general. Now, when you're not in that room, what people say about you is your personal brand. So if people are saying something negative about you in a room, it means you have branded yourself negatively that people are unable to actually get a glimpse of the authentic you. So in totality, who you want people to perceive you is up to you, and how you brand yourself and how you intentionally put effort on yourself that people can see you in that manner. The reason why personal branding matters is that it shapes your posture into intentionality. When your posture shifts, your life shifts as well. Where you stand, where you position yourself. Let's say, for example, I'm going to use a lot of examples as an educator, as a creative, as an actress, and as a designer. As a teacher, it is hard for people to see or to know that I'm actually a teacher. I have to position myself in a space where people can see, oh, she's actually a teacher and she teaches secondary school students. That is how I'm going to put my posture. Now, this posture is going to turn into intentionality. I'll be intentional on my profession. I'll be intentional on my work. Now that will also change my life, because now opportunities can actually find me without me seeking them. Because I am visible and I'm consistent, people see what I talk about when I talk about education, when I talk about arts. Because people see, doors will open without me asking for it. We have to understand that before people see your CV, they will need to see your personal brand. People will not directly go to, they'll see who you are, and then they'll see who you are, and then they'll ask to see your CV. So we have to position ourselves in a way that we'd actually grasp some opportunities. Your personal brand builds trust and credibility, because people are able to relate to who you are as a person, how you present yourself, how you posture yourself, how your posture is done. Then they're able to see that you're credible. They can trust you. They can trust you to go ahead and speak in rooms. They can trust you to go ahead and provide them services. They can trust you to give them the best customer care because of how you have branded yourself. If you wrongly brand yourself, people will not trust you. People will not see you as a credible brand or see you as a credible personnel with that knowledge or expertise in that particular area. Another thing that why branding is important is that it protects your reputation. People will either create their own story about you, or you will give them the right one. How do you give them the right one? Is in your personal branding. I remember that some people that before I met them, I always had this idea of say, no, I think these people are not people that I can actually work with. These people look like they're just everywhere at once, so this doesn't look good. But then when I actually go to meet these people, I realized that we can work best together. They are good teamworks and they're very, very intelligent, more than I actually thought that they were. But that was because they misbranded themselves. So I only had the personal brand that they were giving me. Needless to say, if you don't intentionally brand yourself, you are already branded. And I think that is the most that is the bad thing if you're not branding yourself, because whatever you're showing us, we will take that as your personal brand. So do not give us the right to create our own story about who you are, especially when your reputation is at stake. Give us who you really are, the right information of who you really are through your personal brand. Positioning yourself will also bring you or put you in an authority, because when we talk about personal branding, we're talking about you having knowledge or expertise on a particular area and showing it to us that you have that knowledge. So now we know we can come to you because we know you're an expert in that particular subject. So in branding, there are 3 A's that would create a strong brand. These are authenticity, alignment, and audience connection. Authenticity would mean you have to be true to yourself. Do not give us a different image of who you are. Let us get to know you on a personal level. People trust people that they are able to see that they're in their raw self. People who are authentic. You don't have to pretend that you're somebody else just so that you can give us a good image. You have to be in your authentic self so that people can be able to relate with you. We are living in a flawed world with flawed people. So if you're just this perfect person in front of the people would think, no, I don't think this is true. No one can actually be this perfect. But then you have to be authentic to yourself, and also that will help you be able to sustain yourself. Because if you're not giving us your authentic self, then at some point you forget who you really are. But who you really are can never be forgettable. I'm sorry for the background noise. The second one is alignment. Your brand must match your goals. Please do not take somebody's brand and say, I think I can say this topic better. But ask yourself, what is it that you want to communicate to the people? What are your goals? Now, your brand must be in line with your goals. And there, you also must be able to be consistent. For example, if you're a climate advocate, a climate change advocate, it will mean that you have to position yourself in a space that most of your things are actually related with climate change. So it means you cannot talk about charcoal. You cannot talk about burning charcoal. You cannot show us a video where you're cooking using charcoal, because we see that you've already destroyed trees, but then your brand is about climate change. So now that your brand becomes questionable, it means your brand must be able to align with your goals. And the last one is audience connection. You must have the right audience for yourself. Everyone has the right audience, because you cannot please everyone. Not everyone you meet is your audience. You have a specific audience. Make sure that you're fully connected to your audience so that you reach out to them so that they can also see you. Remember, personal branding is positioning. So if you're positioning, there's a target people that you're going for. Make sure that whatever you talk about, whatever you're standing on, whatever you're posting on your social media is in line with the audience that you're looking for. An example would be Benedict, who talks about stock market and everything else, because he knows that there's an audience that I want to target. That's why he talks about this thing, stock marketing and stock exchange and all these things. That is where his brand is best. For me, I'll talk about education, I'll talk about arts, I'll talk about clothes, and I'll talk about sustainability. But I would be very I would make sure that as I'm talking about these things, I do not take gossip. Maybe there is something that is going on online, it's gossip. If it does not align with my brand, I don't have to talk about it. I might have a personal opinion, yes, but then I need to go back and see on my drawing board, does this fit into my goals? If it doesn't, that is not something that I can actually post. It is not something that I can comment on. Not that I'm trying to suppress myself, no, but because I want to be able to associate myself to the things that I am associated with. So an example of authenticity would be me, because I'm pretty sure that I'm the easiest example to say. Most of my posts talks about fashion, acting, and teaching children. That is what I usually talk about. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about gossip. I don't talk about what is actually trending on that particular day. Like, for example, there is this AMC that people are talking about. It's literally everywhere. Everyone is posting about it. But now, if that does not associate with my brand, I can't talk about it. As juicy as it might sound, I can't post it on my social media because it doesn't align with my brand. So alignment would mean Patience Namadingo. We've seen him use social causes in his music. He's trying to align because he knows that his target audience are within in the communities where he's actually going to get to provide help. So we had the ambulance issue. We're able to see that he's aligning it. And in terms of audience connection, we can have an example of Faith Musa, who has a relatable audience both in Malawi and globally. So now that tells us to productize ourselves. We have to productize ourselves, whereby we have to find something that we naturally do. Keyword naturally.